Okay, let's open a new document. We'll go into the File menu to open. And from the Lesson 12 folder, let's choose L12start.ai, click Open, and go into the View menu to fit all in Window. Okay, just one artboard. Let's go into the Window menu to Workspace and choose Like and Design. And come over here to the Appearance panel. Now because we have no object selected, the default fill and stroke colors are showing a white fill and a black stroke. Now, appearance attributes can be applied to any object, group, or layer. And using the Appearance panel, an effect such as a drop shadow can be modified anytime and can be applied to other shapes, groups, or layers. An effect can also be saved as a graphic style in the Graphic Styles panel. Now with the black arrow selection tool, let's go ahead and click on this green arrow, and we'll select that green arrow there, and come back over here to the Appearance panel. And now we see the fill and stroke colors are the fill and stroke colors of the arrow that we just selected. Now I'm going to click on the stroke layer in the Appearance panel on the far right here. So I'll choose that layer, and I'm also going to click on the twirly for that layer and open that. So now we can see other attributes, the color of the stroke, the line weight of the stroke, and the opacity. And we can change those. But first let's change those using the Transparency panel. So the stroke indicator is in the front automatically when I choose the stroke layer in the Appearance panel. And I'll come down here to the Transparency panel and open that and click on the word Opacity, and let's change it to 50%, 50, and hit the Enter key, and maybe change the blending mode to Multiply. So then we've changed the attributes of the stroke around that arrow. And if we come back up here to the Appearance panel, we can see that those changes have been made. For example, we can see the opacity now says 50% multiply. And we can change that. Well, first let's come over to the artboard and look on the artboard, and we can see that those changes have also been made to the object that's been selected. So let's come back over to the Appearance panel, and let's go ahead and make some changes right from within the Appearance panel. We can click on the word Opacity, and that opens the Transparency panel from within the Appearance panel. So let's click on the word Opacity again, and this time let's change it to 70, 70, and go ahead and click Enter. And we can also change the stroke weight. So up here in the Appearance panel, I'm going to click on the far right on the stroke layer, and we'll change the stroke weight to 4 points. There we go. So we've changed those attributes on the object selected by using the Appearance panel. And we can come over here and look at the arrow and see that it's been changed. Now I'm going to go ahead and after looking at this art for a minute here, let's go ahead and go back to the Appearance panel and change the stacking order of the layers in the Appearance panel. So we'll come over here, I'm going to close the twirly on the stroke, and then I'm going to click on the fill indicator in the Appearance panel and just drag it up so that it's above the stroke layer. And this is going to change the appearance of the object. So let's come back over now to the artwork, and we see that the blending mode no longer affects the fill because the fill is above the stroke attributes in the Appearance panel. And the blending mode only affects the layers below in the Appearance panel. In other words, it only affects the stroke. So since the stroke around this object is half inside and half outside the path, we're seeing the change on the stroke outside the path. And with the fill attribute on top in the Appearance panel, the half of the stroke inside the object is not affected. So with the green arrow still selected, I'm going to come over here to the Appearance panel and click on the New Stroke button down in the lower left corner of the Appearance panel. So we'll click on that, and we get a new layer in the Appearance panel, and I'll click on the twirly to reveal what's inside that layer, and we're going to change the weight of the new stroke to 2 point. So I'll come up here and change that to 2 point. And so now let's go ahead and add a new effect. We'll go down to the Effects menu, drop-down menu at the bottom of the Appearance panel, and click on the Effects menu. And now we're going to add a new effect. So we'll go ahead and scroll down to Offset Path, Offset Path, and we're going to choose to offset at 3 pixels, 3px. And even though I'm in inches, when I hit, I can type in 3px, but then hit the Tab key, and it just finds the equivalent to that number of pixels in inches. I could have clicked on the rulers and changed the measurement system to pixels first, but that's the equivalent of 3 pixels, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Okay, so when we look in the Appearance panel, we see that that effect has been added to the stroke layer in the Appearance panel. We see that Offset Path effect now added. And let's go ahead and make one more change. Let's go ahead and move the 4-point stroke layer in the Appearance panel up above the 2-point stroke layer. Change the stacking order, and then come back over here to the artboard and click away to deselect and take a look at the style that we've applied to the arrow.